Friends, today is Wednesday, the 29th of July. We're in the cathedral, another beautiful morning. And today is the Feast of St. Martha, the Feast of St. Martha. And the Gospel today is that of Martha and Mary and Jesus and Lazarus in the tomb. You know, I think the image that maybe most people have of Jesus is a kind of domesticated image of Jesus as teacher, moral teacher, friend of sinners, friend of children, goes about as a kind of a country preacher moving from town to town and so on. And that's fine. That's a good image of Jesus. He is all of that. But there's another image of Jesus that I think is represented in our gospel today. It's an image that I like. It's Jesus as warrior. Jesus as warrior. Jesus as the Son of God who has come to defeat the final enemy that is death. And that comes out beautifully in our gospel today of the raising of Lazarus. Martha, Mary, Lazarus. Jesus as the warrior, the great rock, the strength, our strength, who has come to fight for us. Everything Jesus did was for life. And of course, then the final enemy of life is death, death itself. You know, I like our responsorial psalm today. The God of the Old Testament, in many ways, is this warrior God who has come to fight for us, fight against all evil, sin, death, evil, darkness, everything. And it comes out in that responsorial, which is Psalm 59, rescue me from my enemies, O God, from my adversaries, defend me. O my strength, for you I watch. I will sing of your strength. O my strength, your praise I will sing. God, who is the God of strength, God, our rock, our protector, our fortress. And that is Jesus in the gospel today, that wonderful story of the death of Lazarus. Martha, upset, says to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here to fight the battle, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And it's a test. Martha, wondering about Jesus, Jesus asked her, do you believe? Do you believe in the resurrection? Yes, I believe that on the last day, and so on. But her belief in the resurrection is not the resurrection of Jesus. It's still a kind of pre-resurrection belief. The Jews had a belief of a resurrection at the end of time, but the resurrection of Jesus is something quite different from that. And so, Jesus in the gospel, throughout the gospel, as I mentioned, Jesus is always dealing with the issue of life. He wants us to have life and to have it to the fullest. And thus, Jesus has come to fight against violence, hatred, egotism, falsehood, suffering of any kind. Think of all the miracles of healing that Jesus brings. Anything that limits the life that we were created for, created in God's image to live. And Jesus has come to destroy any enemy of that life. And thus he comes to Lazarus' tomb, as I mentioned, kind of ground zero. The tomb of Lazarus. He's in a cemetery where that battle is going to take place. And people must have been standing around wondering, hushed, what he was going to do. And Jesus, it says, was perturbed, deeply disturbed at this death. In fact, he wept. One of the few emotions that we see of Jesus in the gospel, he wept at the death of Lazarus, his friend. People then waiting. What is he going to do? What will this warrior God do? And what does he say? Take away the stone. Take away the stone. Take away anything that keeps us in darkness and death. Take it away. Move it aside. People, of course, were kind of disturbed and worried about that. They obviously were concerned about the stench, and they say so, but he's been dead 4 days. In other words, he's really dead. And Jesus, the warrior, has come to raise him. Take away the stone. Lazarus, come forth. And Lazarus does. Still the bands of death, the shroud placed around him falling off, comes out of the tomb into the light, into the light. Jesus, the warrior, brings life, fights death, and wins. He says in the gospel, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And anyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Hold that thought of life, and we'll see you tomorrow.